I made a huge mistake with my Rise of Kingdoms account and equipment. Let's spin the footage. I'm scrapping my 5th equipment set, and you'll never believe why. Join me to find out.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
So I did it. I ended up scrapping that 5th march, and I ended up being able to craft this Ring of Doom, which I fortunately actually crit, which is spectacular. But was scrapping that 5th march actually a great decision for me in the long run? Well, I'm now in KVK. We've had past 5, and we've had some of our first battles. And as you guys can see here, I've done pretty well. I'm at 12.2 million kills-ish, and we've only had one pass open, which is great. But there have been a couple of things that I've really been struggling with, which is what prompted me to make this video. And hopefully it helps you guys avoid making the same mistake that I have. And in this video, we're going to be talking about what some of the benefits are that I've seen since doing this and what some of the downsides are. And I'm asking you whether you think that I made the best decision or whether you would have done something differently. But before we do get too far into it, be sure to hit that subscribe button right over there, middle of the screen. It helps me out a lot, and it helps make sure that you don't miss any of my content. So let's talk about some of the pros. First off, this ring has been awesome. My marches have been trading really, really well. The 4 marches I've been running are Nevsky William, Ho Chu Bing with Joan, Boudica with Zug, and Scipio with Liu. All of these marches have been doing awesome. And I've been trading about 3-1 in most cases, and I'm running all T4. That's really important because that does play into some of the downside that I'm seeing of making this decision. So overall, things have been going pretty well, right? Everything's fine. I have the accessory set. I've got the extra health. Now, let's rewind back to why I did this. I needed materials in order to craft this extra accessory. But I did lose materials by scrapping that 5th infantry set. If you guys recall, I had the Hope Cloak and I had the helmet. And that set wasn't complete, which means I couldn't have actually used it in the field as a 5th march. It just wouldn't have been practical. But I did lose materials by scrapping it. And now that I am starting to get closer to needing that 5th march, I'm probably going to have to recraft both of those things again. Thankfully, neither of them were crit. But I am realizing that finding that helmet blueprint is not going to be quite as easy as I thought that it was going to be. So, what are some of the downsides of this decision, and would I do it again? So first off, as you heard me mention earlier, I am using pretty much all T4 in the field. And the problem with that is that while I am getting great trades, I'm talking like 3-1 trades, sometimes even better, because I'm running all T4, my damage output is not really as good as it probably could be. The other thing that I'm seeing is because I'm using all T4, it's taking a lot of time to get kills. And if you've been in a big KVK, then there's one thing that you know you can't get, which is more time. And I've found this in past KVKs where if you don't get enough kills within the time periods that are the big battles, you end up running into problems because you've gotten your fights in, but if you didn't deal enough damage and there's not another fight, you're kind of SOL. By running all T4 and only 4 marches, in the first day, I was fighting the whole first day. I think I maybe came out with 5 million kills, and it was painful. It was really painful. I was playing pretty much all day, running troops in and out. But because I only had 4 marches and because they were all T4, even though I was trading great, it just didn't give me the kills that I needed. Whereas I saw some of my other kingdom mates were going through, they were fighting, they were having great reports, they were getting tons of kills, but, you know, they were getting a lot more kills than I was. And that was mildly problematic for me. And if we do take a look at my troop breakdown, you'll notice that I have another issue, which is that realistically, I can't run multiple T5 marches. I intentionally trained for this KVK to have primarily T4 marches. So I'm stuck in this position where I only have 4 marches and they're all T4, and I can't get more time in battle. So I have a couple choices. I could use those 4 marches and I could use all T5, But as you can see, that's not actually an option. So I can mix some marches up, have some be T5, have some be T4, have some be a hybrid, which is what I've kind of decided to do. And that's why I was able to get some more kills. But if you remember back to my video on scrapping stuff, which again, I'll link on the top right side of the screen for you. You can go check that out. My main point was make the 4 strongest marches possible. And if you're not running T4 and you are running T5, then you're accomplishing that. But because I'm only running T4, these marches are not the strongest that they possibly can be. And so they're not getting me as many kills as I could possibly be getting. So that's a pretty big downside. The other thing is, if I come in here and I look at my helmet, I don't have enough blueprints to actually get another one of those infantry helmets. I'm going to have to use gems and go through and hit the wheel and hit whatever it is that I need to hit to try and get more of these blueprints. And I didn't think about that at the time. And I wish that I had. I have an extra Hope Cloak. The Hope Cloak's not going to be a problem, but this helmet is going to be a problem for me to get back. The other thing that I think was a big mistake on my part is the fact that I have 5 marches. And that's so painful because if I take a look at my pairs, and one of the things that I really called out in that other video, do not run 5 marches if you do not have 5 viable marches. Don't throw Richard in. Don't be throwing Nebu in. Don't throw commanders in that you shouldn't be using. But I have 5 marches. I have Boudica Zug. I have Nevsky Joan or Nevsky William. I have Ho Chi Bing Joan. I have Guan Scipio. And I have Luce Alex, which is the meta marches that I think even Plato was running. It's what Gaines is running. It's what a lot of people are running. And I had that 5th infantry set. Now, there is one key problem. Even though I have the commanders, and now I have the equipment, I still didn't have a full infantry set. I only had those 2 pieces. And I didn't have any materials. That was why we scrapped it to begin with, is I needed materials in order to craft the dang ring for my Nevsky. So would I do it again? This is a big question that I am asking myself because I feel like I've made a big mistake, but I'm asking myself, would I do it again? I think given the situation, I probably would have scrapped the Hope Cloak again because I had extra blueprints. And realistically, even though I have the 5 marches, I wasn't going to have a full set for that 5th march. And if you told me I was going to be critting this ring, oh, absolutely, no question. I still would have done it. But now that I'm in KVK, there is the KVK shop. And so if I come over here, I can actually see I could buy equipment material choice chests. In fact, I bought most of them already. And so would I have scrapped both of those pieces again? Probably not. Now, does this change my guidance from the previous video? In the previous video, I told you explicitly, you should not be running 5 marches if you don't have good equipment for all of them. And I stand by that for the most part. If you are starting out, or if you have not yet crafted 5 sets, do not do it. Work on getting all of your accessories first. Make sure all of your marches have your accessories before you move on to that 5th march, especially if you don't have the commanders ready. It's not worth it. But if you do have the commanders ready, and you do have accessories for most of your commanders, I don't know that I'd tell you to scrap it. Because I think that scrapping it may be a mistake, especially if you don't have the extra blueprint. Now, I do have the advantage that maybe when I do go through and actually craft the Hope Cloak, that I'll end up getting a crit, which would be awesome. If I crit the Hope Cloak, I'm in really good shape. But I still have to get the helmet. So you guys let me know. What do you think? Did I make a huge mistake with my account? I'm questioning it. This KVK has been awesome. I hope to be streaming some of it for you guys. Again, if you haven't already, do hit that subscribe button. That's going to be right over there, right in the middle of the screen. And you have my little promo. But right over on the bottom right-hand corner, you will actually have the subscribe button. Be sure to hit it. Thank you guys so much for your support. Let me know what you think in the comments. Chappy out.